So there was a really cool post on Lash Tribe the other day. She asked people what sort of tips they could give you or her in regards to starting a business and the things that she or others have gone through, things that they probably avoid next time, like mistakes they made that they learned from, things to avoid when starting your own business. And I just wanted to come on and talk about this from my perspective a little bit, because I've been in the beauty industry for over a decade now. For 16 years now. And there was a lot of stuff that I wish I would have done very differently looking back now. So anyway, I want to share with you a little bit of my story. Started in lashing, and I want to share with you probably the worst mistakes I made versus the ones that are the ones that you kind of learn from. I mean, you learn from all of your mistakes, right? But some of the mistakes could have been avoided with better strategizing, better patience, better setup, better systems. Yeah, and I got really good at this now. Well, still not 100% perfect, but it was definitely a bit of a struggle for me. So 15 years ago, I started in beauty. I came to Australia in 2004. Yeah, 2004. Done my makeup course in Germany. I trained with Mann. Then I went to Cairns Beauty Academy, became a hairdresser after that. So I'm a qualified beauty therapist. I have a diploma in beauty therapy. I'm a qualified hairdresser with a diploma. I've been doing lashes for over a decade now, and makeup and cosmetic tattooing. There you go. So I have done it all. And 4 years ago now, and I know that a lot of you know the story, but this is really what I want to talk about by avoiding mistakes. It has a lot to do with my non-existing left side. Is 4 years ago, my husband sat me down, and said to me, Julia, I had been working from home for 6 years at that stage, had a little home salon with beauty and hair and everything and lashes. He said, Julia, I don't think you're making any money. Let's go through the books. I'm like, I don't really like numbers. I feel like I was always working. I had clients return. I was working a lot actually, because I feel like I always just said yes to everyone. Can you relate? Know what I'm talking about when people are coming late at night and you go, yeah, that's fine, no worries. I know I have students like that still do it to this day. But I never actually knew my numbers. Again, I'm right brain, my left side is not as developed, and I kind of didn't care for my left side as much because I am a very creative brain and I always wanted to do the best for my clients. I didn't know what my spendings were versus my income. So after we did the numbers, it turned out that I was making a huge loss in my business for 2 years straight. We only did the books for the last 2 years. I'm glad we didn't do the last 6. And I was very miserable. I was really depressed for about a week. I was crying. I was lying in bed and I was thinking, oh my God, what am I gonna do with my life? Is this even gonna be sustainable? If I'm not even making money, I'm not even breaking even. I was making a loss. I was literally feeding my clients all their treatments. I was buying too many products that were too expensive. So this is tip number 1. Don't try and buy everything straight away when you're starting out. You need to start with your very basics. Start with the stuff that you really need. And once you start to make a bit of a revenue for yourself and you start to break even, you start actually taking home a wage, then you can put aside a certain amount of money per week. So accounting is very important, which I was really bad at. I'm still not great at it. And this is why today I have an accountant that does all my tax, my BAS, and my quarterlies and everything like that. So tip number 1 is know your numbers and don't try and get everything at once, because you will, feel great about buying all this stuff and you have all the fancy equipment, amazing bed, great trolley, a glam core lamp. All of this isn't necessary when you're just starting out, okay? Tip number 2 is to not say yes to everything and everyone at any time of the day. When you're just starting out, I know it is very tempting to try and work 24/7, but that will already establish kind of a I don't really care about myself type of feeling with your clients. Your clients will walk all over you and they will expect you to drop everything, drop a hat, right? So for me, that was a big mistake. I always gave discounts. I always felt like I wanted to be friends with my clients. I think as a professional, you need to be friendly. I've got clients now. I have 4 clients left at the moment, and I consider them friends now. But that's after 10 years? Yeah. But in the beginning, I did a lot of those mistakes, and that's why they ran over me, and they were recommending the cheap prices that I gave them, like buddy prices, to their friends. And then everyone came, and I was working a lot, but I was not charging enough. I was buying too many expensive products, and this is why I never broke even. Yeah. Another thing that I didn't do right was I had way too many things. I offered way too many things. I offered hairdressing, cosmetic tattooing, eyelashes, beauty treatments, anything you name it, I had it all. That is why I needed a huge inventory, and that is why I lost a lot of money, because I had to throw out products because there was only me. It was a little home salon, and I wanted to do everything right and fancy. Instead of concentrating just on the 1 or 2 things that I was really extremely good at, I tried to do it all. I was like a jackass of all trades, and I know you've heard me say that before. So that is number 3, is probably don't try to be everything to everyone. Then the other thing that I realized after I studied like social media marketing and copywriting, the written word and sales, is that I wanted everybody to be my clients. And that is just not how it works. You're not gonna be attracting everyone. Yeah, so when I ran Facebook ads, which I started quite a few years ago, I always selected 16 to 65-year-olds or whatever age gap you can select. And I selected men and women because I figured, well, the men can see the ad and then they tell their wife about it. But a man wouldn't just stop if there's a nice set of lashes, right? They don't care unless it has like a naked lady connected to it, or a car, or some funny beer ad or whatever. They don't watch that sort of stuff at all. And so I thought that everybody would absolutely be my client, and yeah, just wasn't the case. So I needed to get really specific, which I did about 4 years ago, to really pinpoint my ideal client, kind of write her down on a piece of paper. Her name is such and such. She is this and this much old. She lives here. Her biggest fears are, her biggest dreams are. This is what she loves to do for fun, and this is why she wants to have her lashes done. And most people, like anything, I don't go to get my lashes done because of the way that they're doing my lashes. It is about the outcome of how it makes me feel. I don't have to wear makeup afterwards. Sometimes I do need to wear concealer for sure because I look tired, but I don't need to wear as much makeup as I usually do. It has so many benefits, yeah, and it's not just about the feature of having your lashes done. Like, I don't go to the gym because I love working out. I go to the gym because I want to lose weight and I want to look sexy for the Hollywood Lash Conference, right? So that was another mistake I made. Another big mistake I made was to not have a booking system for many years. I think I only started implementing a booking system maybe 3 years into business, which was terrible. I was trying to do everything from my phone. I was constantly on my phone talking to people, trying to figure out who wants to book what. Then they cancel. Then you had to move them around. Then they said, no, I can't do this day. Can you do this day? So it was literally just back and forth texting, and it was terrible. I had a bad show-up rate as well because I didn't take a deposit. So as soon as I implemented a booking system and I took deposits, my show-up rate went up to 99%, and everyone had to pay deposits. Now today, a lot of people actually pay everything up front because they know they get more time for their lashes or for their cosmetic tattooing. I can spend more time on them rather than trying to get them through the whole booking process. In the very, very beginnings, when I kind of pictured myself in this whole business thing, like I was going to be a business owner working for myself, I just painted this perfect picture thinking everyone would just come to me, and it just wasn't the case. I did a lot of Groupons and Scoopons, which really sucked because most of those people only came once. Maybe one person came a few times. They were all cheapos, and you know, in some certain areas it might work. For me, it didn't work. because the prices I had for those types of people was just not good enough, or too cheap rather, sorry. And I wanted to be a little bit more expensive than that. And I just, painted this beautiful picture in my head thinking people will just find me. They just come, and like, where the heck are they supposed to find you if you don't advertise, yeah? So the biggest win I started getting was when I actually started to put money in my business marketing, yeah? So investing in your marketing is huge. And that can be a lot of different things. That could be Facebook ads, it could be Instagram ads, it could be Google AdWords. So that's how I started to invest a little bit more in my marketing. And the biggest change really happened when I actually decided to take a coach who taught me everything that I needed to know because they had done it already. So that was for me the biggest change. It was literally just about being more systemized, knowing your numbers, getting a booking system. And these are all teething problems that you'll find out by yourself. But now watching this video, hopefully you don't have to experience that yourself, because it was a hell of a lot of waste of money and time and tears, lots of stress. By the way, I wanted to quickly add this because I'm so excited about this, which is a huge win. We finally offer Afterpay and ZipPay in the Lash Tribe shop, lashtribe.com.au. I would be very interested to hear your opinion. What are some tips you can give everyone to avoid when you're just starting out your lash business, so that you have those teething problems kind of taken away from you? Yeah, again, just to reiterate once more, know your numbers, don't spend too much money to start with, start to break even, pay yourself a wage, and then start to invest in more equipment and fancy things. Do reward yourself as well, because if you're working hard and you get a return on investment or return on making profit finally, you do have to reward yourself as well. It's not just all about making money, putting your money aside. Sometimes a little reward can really help you to stay motivated. Anyway, if there's anything else that you want to share, comment below. Otherwise, I might leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.